Dude just fires a laser. An admiral? Laser. A freaking elder cloud? Laser. Any enemy? Franky shoots a laser. Chapter 1104. Oh, here we go again. Thank you, Daddy. Well, at least this is cute. Reader request. Sanji delivering a dessert to a newly engaged rat couple at a restaurant. Okay, here we go. The Buccaneer Boy. Your only options are slavery or death. Your mother's dead, son. But I think she's better off that way. Okay, so we're just once again flashing through Kuma's memories. I'm sorry, Kumachi. I'm dying. It won't be long now. Why is this happening, Vegapunk? He should be dead! A few days after the Revolutionary Army took Kuma away, I pressed his self-destruct switch. This is the most memeable page ever. I think this is gonna be the thumbnail. I think this right here will be the thumbnail. And I will use this as a meme forever. It's just like POV. You messed with Kuma. Is this like a certified, once again, 5 Elder Clowns moment? Why is this happening, Vegapunk? He should be dead. Well, he's not. Okay. Okay, never mind. This will be the thumbnail. Wait, hold on. Hold on, let me do the math. So, it's one panel of him pulling the arm back, then another one where we see it like from behind Kuma, so that's 2 panels. The third one is POV. Fourth one is it connecting. Fifth is it connecting in a close-up. And sixth is it already like punching him away. And another one is him crashing to the floor, and then we have a couple more, him just rolling to the floor, and then we have a couple more, him continuing to roll. You know what? I'm already satisfied with this chapter. 10 out of 10. I'm done. Do I need to read any more? I mean, if Luffy shooting the flag was a declaration of war, what is this? Is this like a... I don't even know. Look at the town. What is this? What's happening? Did Kuma do this? Punched out one of the 5 elders. The very highest authority in the world. And Kuma is just standing there as a freaking Giga Chad. I'm satisfied. I am more than satisfied. I don't even care what happens. Kuma got his revenge. He punched him directly in the face. What could be better than this? Rescue Saint Saturn at once. He's trapped under the buildings. A slave just punched a man at the pinnacle of the world. This is a historical atrocity. I mean, yeah, like... Can we just address the fact that this dude was like, oh, it's been so long, the surface. He came to the surface, gave a whole speech about like, now I will kill every single last one of you. Oh yes, you don't even realize who you are. Bonney, she hasn't even seen like a Gear 5 Luffy. You don't understand any of this. He stands around, acts like a Giga Chad, holds a Bonney for like 3 chapters straight, and then the first thing that happens to him is he gets absolutely nuked by Kuma. Can we please address this fact? I'm so happy right now. Okay. Please give me an actual reunion. Finally, I can move again. Bonney, are you hurt? Now's our chance. Take Bonney and let's move you up. Escape is our only goal. What happened? I did not attach any self-destruct switch. I knew that if I helped you turn into a bomb, they would inevitably use you as a suicide weapon, but I upheld their conditions in the end. I attached a total shutdown switch to you. And now that it's been thrown, you should be in a vegetative state without the ability to act of your own free will, or even carry out orders. There is no reason he should have sprung into motion, and no logical scientific basis. Well, you see, Vegapunk, this is not science, this is not math, this is nothing. This is feelings. So it's true then, it is not the physical strength of a buccaneer that makes them remarkable, for at one point in time, they... Why do you stop speaking? Okay. So, the whole primal instinct stuff. Interesting. Very interesting. So this is actually Kuma. He probably doesn't have, like, his memories, but it's Kuma. Okay. Because my thought process initially was like, we talked about the self-destruct switch, we talked about some sort of retrieval mechanism, we talked about all of these things. But it's none of those. He came here out of his own volition. These Marines didn't know what they were getting into that day. I mean, at this point, I can't even imagine what the climax of this arc will be. I don't think Saturn is down. I think If you want my prediction right now, last panel of this chapter is him getting up. Like 100%. We're gonna have like a very, very nice reunion between Kuma and Bonney now, and then he's probably gonna get back up. Of course he will. And then he's probably going to do something incredibly big. To be like, no, 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 it's not over. You know, Act 1. We're still in Act 1. This is friggin' Luffy versus Kaido round 1. We all know how that ended. Well, it's over. It's over in what context? Where's Straw Hat? He disappeared before we could apprehend him. I don't want to make that report. Ooh. Another interesting way of showing us why they're gonna lose. It's like they're so afraid of him that they don't even report their biggest threat being missing. Thank you, Daddy. I saw all your memories. Mommy was such a wonderful person. And you wrote me all those letters after all. I was so happy to find out. Everyone calls you a tyrant, but I know my daddy is the kindest and most wonderful man in the entire world. And I'll never, ever forget it. This is so wholesome. This is so wholesome. Just Kizaru being unclear as always. Yeah, because like, what does he mean, welp, it's over? Is it like oh no, they started this. Oh god, it's over. It's over. This island is done for. It's just done. Or is it oh, it's over then. So, Saturn's dead. Or is it well, it's over. I now need to choose my side. Like, what context is this in? It's a very generic statement. I think you could interpret it in a number of different ways. Maybe Caribou helped Luffy sneak out? It has to be either Caribou... Wait a minute. No, it couldn't be, right? Because, welp, it's over. Where's Straw Hat? He disappeared without a trace. If we go back to the first theory we talked about, who gave Luffy food, it's Kizaru because he moved in between the panels, and he's going at light speed so no one can probably see him. What if, welp, it's over? It's like... I got Luffy out of here, and then he's gonna come back, and it's over because, like, he's safe. It's probably not that, right? That's, like, too big of a stretch. I don't think that's it. Like, Caribou is still... What the hell is Caribou doing? Okay, let's keep going. Vegapunk, how do you explain all of this? Was it your doing? Well, I suppose it must look that way. I could call it the power of love, if it makes you feel any better. Gotta love Vegapunk giving him some sass. I see. Then it was a flaw in the human form, an error in the programming. Farewell. I have no more use for you men. Reiner? What? What? He's regenerating. I mean, I guess it's not unheard of, right? The fact that you could regenerate parts of your body. I mean, if he does have, like, some sort of weird devil fruit, like literal devil fruit, then maybe regening is just a part of his ability. And that's it? Because, I mean, technically speaking, even Logias, right? You blast apart a Logia, and from the outside looking in, it seems like they're regenerating, even though you're just attacking the element that is the Logia, or Logia, or Logia. I don't know, I have no idea. But anyway. Like I said, though, Act 1. So he's back up now. The Kuma Bonney moment, though. Oh, it's so wholesome. At least we got that. Look out, Daddy. Move out of the way. Don't do anything. Okay, and Sanji's being a Giga Chad. Spider Gramps. I mean, you gotta give freaking, you gotta give Sanji and Franky some props. Freaking Franky, he shot at Kizaru, he shot a literal laser at the Light Man, and now he's just like, you know what, Saturn? I'ma shoot him as well. What a Mega Chad. We owe Kuma a great debt too, radical. They're just straight up going in. And it's true, you developed very well. Ain't no way. Kizaru, what are you cooking, my man? Well, that's not good. Daddy's not moving, Vegapunk. You can carry him to the Labo phase, Atlas? Yes, I got this. Okay. Saturn and Kizaru both have not killed Kuma. Kuma is now being carried out. Is this a debate? Or Is this like, look how bad Kuma's got it? He's being punched around, he's being shot 50 times, it's all very, very bad. But you know, the fact that he's not already dead, he's being carried out, he's gonna survive. I am now leaning more toward the fact that he might survive. I don't know if this is copium, but right now, the fact that he's being carried out, it does make me think that there is hope. Kizaru shot Franky. Yeah, I mean, just like in general, right? The fact that Kuma is now being carried out of here. The fact that no one has shot him yet. Because him being carried out implies, like, why would you write this in? Him being carried out. If it wasn't leading to somewhere. It could be, it could easily be a Ace situation. You know what I thought about Ace? I was like, okay, we've gone through all of this. We freed Ace. We're like back up. We're firing against everyone. And then Ace dies anyway. Oda has done this before. So, I don't know. Oh my god, I love this line so much. Now that Kuma's in the scene, I'd say we've got an abundance of players, wouldn't you? Oh, my dude, you have no idea. I like how he says this, and we still haven't seen Caribou. We haven't seen Blackbeard. We haven't seen the freaking, all the Seraphims are still in the bubbles. We do have an abundance of players, yes, but oh boy, none of them are in the scene. Have you no heart? You're a sad man, Kizaru. Yes, I'm a miserable sight. I should have brought darker shades. The Buster Call has been activated. The island has been declared a threat to the world governments. All warships prepare for bombardments. Burn it to the ground in the name of justice. Those who study the secrets of the world, people who possess the blood of a lost people, those who have awakened an ancient god. This island is full of inconvenience, I'm sorry. People who must be eradicated. Well then. This shot is like straight up Okura, right? Like this shot is identical to Okura. Yeah, it's very, very similar. Lafitte and Devon are the only ones from Blackbeard's crew. Yes. Someone did say that Devon is somewhere else. But I don't know how true that is, because I think we went down the list, and Lafitte and Devon are the only ones. And my theory is that Devon, like, she can turn into literally anyone, right? She could be like the total wildcard in this, because she could override the authority system. We don't know how the authority system works. Is it based on, like, your eye? Is it like a fingerprint scanner? Like, how the hell does it actually work? We don't know. So if she could just become Saturn, she could technically yoink all the Seraphims for Blackbeard. It'd be like the ultimate reverse Uno. Where do you think Luffy is? I genuinely have no idea. Because, I mean, they wouldn't escape, right? Like, it doesn't really matter where Luffy is, because Luffy will fight. Franky and Sanji are still right here. Luffy's probably just recovering, right? Unless I'm a miserable sight, I should have brought darker shades. When do people wear shades? Well, when it's very sunny. What do we have? We have the Sun God. What if Kizaru yoinked Luffy and took him to the robot? Maybe that's how this arc ends, with the robot waking up and annihilating Saturn. I also find it very, very interesting that, like, in a frame like this, Saturn is framed behind Kizaru. Like, yeah, Kizaru is the one delivering the speech, but it's still an odd decision. That, like, Kizaru was in the forefront and walking forward, and Saturn is still chilling in the back. I think the Blackbeard ship is just misdirection. Caribou called for help. They came and took it, and now they're gone. The purpose of Caribou will be to let the ancient weapons. I kind of like that, yeah. I do like that. I think that'd be cool. It could also be interesting if Luffy is also yoinked to Blackbeard or something. I wouldn't even be against that. If we have like a sort of a weird version of Marineford, where Luffy is once again alone, but this time he is the one that has been captured. I think that'd be kind of cool. I like the theory of it being entirely misdirection, but I also really, really hope that it's not. Can you imagine the chaos that could just pop up here with Devon just yoinking the Seraphims or something? That'd be so cool. Because they keep coming back to the points that, like, us escaping Kizaru and Saturn, I'm kind of torn on that. But then again, Kizaru, I don't know. Because, like, I've gone in circles about this like 100 different times. Because my first thought was like, we are fighting on Vegapunk's home turf. How is this even a fight? Clearly it is a fight. Clearly Vegapunk's tech doesn't really matter that much, by the looks of it. So now I'm sort of in the camp of, okay, these are the ultimate antagonists. We shouldn't be able to escape easily. But we also kind of held our own for a little bit there. So I don't know. I read Kizaru's line as he was getting emotional and was embarrassed. You mean the shades thing? Yeah, that is definitely an interpretation, yes. That he is literally like, yes, I'm kind of miserable, and you know, I'm getting teary-eyed, so I should have worn darker shades. Oh, they have the teleport fruit, so all the Blackbeard pirates show up. I doubt it. I don't think so. I think if the teleport fruit works like that he can bop entire ships, I think that would be broken. I don't think that's how it works. I think he can only move select people, like individuals, right? So he can't move like huge objects, and it probably must like drain him very, very quickly. Otherwise, it kind of breaks it. Like, he could just start bopping bombs in places, you know? He could start teleporting in bombs. Egghead is almost certainly going to end in losses. Yes, I think so. I think so. It's very interesting that we have like an actual scene of Franky being shot, though. It would be very goofy. You know what would be the absolute goofiest thing? If this is Oda doing a classic Oda thing. Imagine if this line from Kizaru, "So show how you've grown," is him actually realizing that like freaking Franky is powered by light. You know, I mean, Franky fires lasers. So what if firing a laser at Franky supercharges Franky? What if after this we actually see Super Franky? I think that'd be very goofy. I don't think so, though. It's an interesting development, though, the fact that he's actually shot. And there is a sound effect of, like, yeah, I wonder where the rest of the crew is. Because the flow of time in this arc is very, very confusing. Not confusing in a bad sense, but, like, confusing in the sense that we jump around between different events. And I've honestly just forgotten. I've heard an interesting theory about Luffy being kidnapped by Lafitte since Luffy is super weak to hypnosis. I still think Django can beat Luffy. That would be interesting. If you had to choose one Vegapunk to survive and journey with the Straw Hats, who would you choose? I would choose the actual Vegapunk. Like, straight up. I like his design. I like how goofy his design is. I would choose, like, the Vegapunk. I just don't know what's gonna happen to him if he sails with us. Because wouldn't he become an NPC? If he disconnects from the server, shouldn't he just be an NPC? You know? Can he even journey with us? My money is on Kuma and Vegapunk. At least on the satellites will survive, and I hope Sentomaru survives too. Kuma won right, like, in very, very broad strokes, I think it makes perfect sense for Kuma to die right here. You know, it's not often that I say, I think a character might genuinely die in One Piece. This is one of those times. I think Kuma has, like, just about every death flag on him right now. Like, just about every one. But I still think there is a glimmer of hope. As far as Vegapunk goes, though, Vegapunk, I don't know how his sync to the server works. That's like one thing. And number two, I think if he sails with us, this is something we've gone in circles about as well. It's kind of like, how does it work if he sails with us and he knows everything? I think it kind of breaks the system a little bit, you know? Because, like, Luffy probably doesn't want to know anything. So he's not going to listen. But at the same time, then what's the point of Vegapunk? Like, if he's not going to say anything, then how does that work? I don't know. This arc started with an accident where Vegapunk disappeared or something, so not sure if he's coming with us. I don't remember honestly the details of that. I just know that this is supposed to be an incident of a large scale that was like a stain for the Navy. I still think something needs to go public. I think we need like a Marineford moment where this is sort of exposed to the public, which should then probably ignite all the like revolutionary stuff. Is sort of what I think we still need to do. Because the whole incident thing, it implies that it like goes public, right? Well, I don't know. Ends early on high notes and not fall into the traps that the other long arcs like Berk Age Amnesia. Yeah, I mean, with how fast Egghead has moved so far, and with everything that Oda has said, I think like this is not an arc where there's like a surprise bonus act almost, you know? I don't think so. I think like this battle will be snappy, and whoever we lose, whatever happens, is going to be fast, and then we're going to move into the next big story beat. A lot of the Straw Hats have been missing for a very long time. It's been a very, very long time. Robin specifically. I feel like it's been like 15 chapters, if not more, since we've seen them. I think Chopper hasn't been around for a very long time too. I know Zoro was clashing with Lucci for a little bit, but that was also a long time ago. All of this was a very, very long time ago. Do you think if we escape, the government will launch the Mother Flame on Elbaf? I don't know. I don't know. I feel like Elbaf just needs to be a classic war. You know? Because I think the Mother Flame is kind of a... It's too easy of a solution for it not to have been... Because they constantly go on about, like, giants, right? So if they could really do that, wouldn't have they done that a long time ago? Maybe it's because they don't want to mess with Shanks. But, like, why would they do that now? So, I don't know. I don't think so. You should notice this is the 3rd time Robin experiences a Buster Call. Yes. Yes. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Robin's just like... Here we go again. I mean, I feel like a Buster Call is the least of our worries now. I do remember... Wasn't there a line like there being like 3 times as many ships on Egghead than there were for, what's the freaking island? For Ohara. I'm pretty sure there are like magnitudes more ships over here. But I feel like the ships are the least of our worries. Not 3, it's 10? Yeah, something like that. So 10 times as many ships. But I don't think really the ships are the problem. I think the problem is the literal devil standing in front of us, who can apparently regenerate parts of his body. Which is an interesting development. And what I also find like really interesting is that we've gone in a bit of a circle, right? Because like Kizaru and Luffy were both down. Presumably, Luffy is now recharged and is up again. Kizaru is back up again. Saturn has been punched, but he's also back up again. Kuma is now here and being brought away. I've got no idea. Wait a minute. I have an idea. An idea. What if the Hands of Liberation? What if Kuma is being brought to like Luffy, and them doing the dance together could actually awaken the robot? Who says the robot is even awake now? Maybe the robot was just like a flash of energy because Luffy went into Gear 5. And now that both the God of Liberation and the Hands of Liberation do the dance together, maybe that's when the robot actually awakens, or something like that. Because it feels a bit odd that it's been so long and the robot hasn't done anything. So maybe it hasn't even fully awoken. Talking about the robot, what do you think he's gonna do? That's the $1 million question. That is the $1 million question. There are so many potential powers on Egghead right now that I've got no idea. Because the Seraphims are so incredibly overwhelming, and the Seraphims were introduced post-Wano. Right? Like the Seraphims were introduced just now. It feels like they must come into play again in this arc. Because the solution to the Seraphims thus far was relatively simple. I feel like there still needs to be an explosive conclusion with them. And then the robot, exactly as you say, is a huge Chekhov's gun that is just yet to be fired. Like, unlike the Seraphims, that can do something later, the robot is on Egghead and presumably probably can't move away easily. The robot 100% will do something big. Because he's on Egghead, he's been shown as awakening, and we've already heard lore about an ancient robot climbing up to like Marijois. He's 100% gonna do something. What is he gonna do? Probably, my current prediction is that maybe he chases away Saturn. Maybe he wakes up and he was like a part of an old army and they were fighting against like Saturn's army of sorts, you know? Not Saturn specifically, but like in general. So maybe he wakes up and he's like, oh, we're back. We're so back. And then he just goes right for Saturn and Saturn's like, oh no. And then he teleports away. Something like that. Because I'm still... People are saying Saturn's probably going to be defeated this arc. I'm not so sure. I'm not. There are a lot of elders. So even if Saturn does go down, we still have 4 more. So technically Saturn could also go down. I don't know. What do you think of Saturn so far? I think Saturn is an excellent baddie. He is very goofy. I sort of have a hard time, and I've said this a million times, I have a hard time believing how he's been in power so long. Because he does so many dumb things that is insane. It's like, you know how, I guess this is a Death Note spoiler. You know how Death Note starts? Light is a mega brain. And like the first thing he does is mess up everything, and that's like a character flaw that eventually cascades into him losing. Saturn has supposedly been in power for excruciatingly long. But he does dumb thing after dumb thing, and I'm like, how are you still here? Like, even this little speech. He went on 2 speeches, both of which backfired. He went on 2 different speeches, both of which backfired. So I don't know. I don't know. That aside, though, I think he is an incredible bad guy. I think he is horrifying. I think he's like one of the most intense, one of the scariest villains Oda has ever written. 100%. I think he's terrifying. I just hope that it's not diminished by him going down easily. I don't think the robot is a Chekhov's gun. I think it's a Chekhov's bazooka. Good point. I like how you say that. Yes. It's probably closer to that. It's probably closer to that. With Saturn, I am very much on the fence. I love him as a baddie. I hope he survives. I really hope he doesn't go down. Because I feel like we haven't seen enough of him. I feel like his introduction was so imposing that I feel like he needs to do something big. He has done something big already, but I want to see more of him. I think it's because he can blame some part of the Marines or other sections of the government. I guess. But still. Like, is Luffy seriously the first person who has ever threatened him? Like, really? I don't think so. Because I get the whole him going on a speech vibe, right? It's clearly just a character flaw. Of course it is. He's arrogant and he calls everyone an insect. But when it backfires like 5 different times, you should probably delete the island. Talking about Saturn doing dumb things, I think that's the reason why he never does the work himself. Yeah, but like, from a framing perspective, it was sort of framed as him showing up here as him getting serious. You know, it's like, I'm actually gonna go down there. I don't even think he's tried much yet. I hope so too. Yeah, like, I will be very upset if Saturn goes down. A lot of people think that he will. I can see that, because like, in a way, that's the same thing that happened to Whitebeard. So again, it's not like it would be a first for Oda. Whitebeard too, Whitebeard is introduced, and soon thereafter he goes out. Like, we all know that Whitebeard is the biggest Giga Chat of all time, but based on what we actually see, Whitebeard is not around for long. And he like only fights in a single arc. It could be the same thing for Saturn. I feel like he's just too big. Saturn's hubris is almost laughably cartoonish. Yes. That's probably like the most concise way of putting my problem with Saturn so far. I get that everyone's an insect to him, but he feels a bit too cartoonish for me. Some people think that if the Straw Hats erase the circle the Saturn came out of, he will be defeated because the circle is his power source. Yeah, the circle is an interesting thing, right? Because people talked about it potentially being his source of teleportation, so he could just use it to escape. It could be his summoning circle. It could be just a byproduct of him transforming. It could be a number of different things. It could be like an interesting way to like turn off his ability. You know, like he regenerated only because to put it like in a more concise way, he is immortal so long as the circle is activated. So if he has the circle, he is literally undefeatable. Like in absolute terms, you cannot defeat him as long as he has the circle. If you erase the circle, he's done. Which could be like an interesting way of making this sort of glass cannon, right? And maybe that's why he's kept his power hidden for so long. I think the final battle is not going to be Luffy versus Emo. It's going to be the giant raid battle of the Straw Hats and their allies against Emo. I would be all for that, but I don't really want Emu to be like the final boss. I still think the final boss should be Blackbeard, because that's what that's the story we've been following. I think like the big raid boss should be a fellow pirate. He's a manifested devil fruit, like an actual devil. I think his devil fruit definitely has something to do with like the fundamental laws of the devil fruits. In the same way that you know, I keep going on about Brook's devil fruit. Which, by the way, where is Brook? Brook hasn't been around for long, too. Elbaf should be like Fishman Island, where the Straw Hats far outclass the bad guy of the arc. You know what I think Elbaf should be? This is gonna sound weird, considering that we've spent like months talking about Egghead being Sabaody. I would not be against Elbaf being Sabaody. In the sense of we land, it's kind of like, oh, it's our final stop before entering like the final stretch. Like, then it was the new world, right? This time it's gonna be like the actual rush for the One Piece. Especially if Luffy finds out that Shanks is already going after it, right? If we land on Egghead and it's like, oh, Shanks was just here, you missed him. Oh, so where did Shanks go? He went to get the One Piece, and then Luffy's like, wait, hold up, that's mine, and then he starts rushing, right? And where the Sabaody thing comes in is the fact that the world government deploys all of their forces on Sabaody in the same, not on Sabaody, on Elbaf in the same way that like suddenly Kizaru appeared on Sabaody, right? And then we have like that major climax that comes out of the blue. I also agree with you potentially saying that Elbaf should be like a Zou. Because Elbaf should have mountains of lore. Loki should be introduced. Saul D. Goodman should be there. Bragi and Dory should be there. There should be all the books from Okura. There should be so much lore on Elbaf that it is insane. So I would also not be against, potentially, again, us landing on Elbaf. They're like, well, Shanks already went to get it. Robin reunites with Saul D. Goodman. We catch up real quick. And then maybe the world government deploys their forces on Elbaf. And then Bragi and Dory's like, listen, we're going to take these guys. You go do your thing, Luffy. You go do your thing. Just like we met back in Little Garden. You go do your thing. And then we sail off and they actually fight the world government. Like on their own. And we just go off. You know? And maybe that's also where Kid comes back into play. Maybe Law too. Maybe Law and Kid reunite on Elbaf to fight against the world government while we go after the One Piece. Because Kid and Law are both now out of the running. 100%. Both of them have been defeated. It's clear that they're out of the running. I think I'm coming up with complete nonsense now. Saturn, incredible idea. What if the final battle is going to be a three-way side battle of the Straw Hat and allies versus Blackbeard versus Emo and the world government? I'm telling you right now, if the only real sea battle, like ship battle that we see, is the freaking Straw Hat, because we have a grand fleet. Luffy has a fleet. Let's not forget about the little fact that Luffy has a literal fleet. So, if the ultimate battle of One Piece is the first ever fleet versus fleet versus fleet fight, and we actually jump between ships and stuff, sign me up. I actually say it's the first ever. Technically, we have had like a couple, and technically we had one right before the raid on Onigashima. That doesn't count though. That doesn't count. I mean like a proper ocean battle. Like a proper one. So yes, I think it'd be really cool. This chapter, we've gone on many tangents. This chapter, I feel like, is just a very satisfying conclusion to everything we've seen thus far. I don't really think like there's much you could spin up from this chapter, in a way. I'm very happy to learn that, like, Kuma and Bonney have reunited. That's all I care about. Kuma has punched Saturn in the face. That's all I care about. And everything else is up in the air now. I think there are just too many missing pieces for me to make any real judgment call. Like, none of the Straw Hats are here. You know what this feels like? This, once again, feels like that fight in Attack on Titan Season 4. At the start of Season 4, if you know, you know. If you know, you know. There, too, it opened up with a lot of relevant pieces being deployed, but then being taken away one by one. If you know, you know. You know, like someone fell through the floor, someone else popped up but then disappeared again, a certain other character, you know, was just chilling in a basement somewhere. You know, all of these pieces were there, but they were taken away. And then they were all brought back into play one by one. Just like Kizaru says, we have like enough players, right? An abundance of players. So that's what that feels like. And I have no idea how the dominoes are going to fall. I am so excited to see this go down. This is not Marineford with 2 sides. This is Egghead with like 15 sides. I'm so excited for this. Because it feels like a mixture of like Eni's Lobby where we're just trying to get away, and Marineford in that it's just a war. I'm excited. I feel like Franky is Luffy's most loyal fighter. Not because he sort of always fights like Zoro or Sanji, but just because he doesn't care. He sees an enemy, dude just fires a laser. An admiral? Laser. A freaking Elder Cloud? Laser. Any enemy? Franky shoots a laser. Dude's just radical beam. He's pretty radical. And there's no break next week, right? I'm not gonna give it like a 10 or anything, right? Like I said, this just feels like a very nice conclusion to Kuma's backstory. We'll see how it turns out. Honestly, at this point, like I've said, I am totally fine with him dying, and I'm totally fine with him living. This is not like a situation where I sort of feel like his story has been told, and there's only one way to wrap it up. I feel like there are two different branching stories that you could write, and I'd be happy with both of them. Genuinely. I think there is a story where Kuma is broken, and he survives as this broken man, you know, who's gone through all of this, and finally, he gets like this tiny bit of rest, but it's still wrapped up in trauma because he's still broken. And I also think that there is a story where his story ends here, and he just dies. So this is not like a Not like a Kinemon situation where I'm like, Oda, come on, my man. Come on, you finished off his story beautifully. Why are you bringing him back to life? This is not that. I'm happy. So that's like the biggest takeaway for me. This chapter gets like a 9.5 out of 10. Thank you for joining me today. It feels like it was a both shorter chapter, but also a longer chapter. It was a very quick read. It was a very, very quick and satisfying read. So next week we are back, hopefully for a couple weeks in a row. I've got no idea what the schedule looks like, but hopefully for a couple weeks in a row. And then I'm probably going to be on throughout the week as well with more streams. And then, like I said, if you didn't catch it, we ranked all the flashbacks in the previous stream. That's going to be up, like an edited version of it, probably tomorrow. I'll see you back later in the week or next week for the next chapter. A very, very good chapter. Egghead delivering as usual. Have a good one. Bye-bye.